Application and resources must be compiled in a single archive and then submitted to the Appstore Connect. The option is only available when a device is selected on the scheme. So we have to select a device and then click on the active option inside the product menu. I'm going to hook up my device right now so we can see that option. Then you can come into Product up here, choose Archive. And you can also use the generic iOS device option too, or a device that's connected to the computer. And after Xcode finishes compiling the application and creates the archive, this following window shows the archive and offers buttons to validate and submit to the App Store. The item representing the archive includes the date it was created, the app's version, and the number of the archive. We can send multiple archives to the App Store Connect and later decide which one we want to be reviewed by Apple. And the app's version is determined by the app's settings editor. By default, it's set to 1.0. If we want a specific version, then we have to declare the numbers separated by 1 or 2 periods. For example, 1.0 or 1.25. The values represent different revisions of our app, with the order of relevance from left to right. The actual meaning of this value is arbitrary, but we're required to change it every time an update is published to the App Store to reflect how big the update was. So if you update your app, you'll want to change that version number reflecting how big the update was. Maybe it's just a minor bug fix update, so you'd probably do 1.1 or something like that. Or if you completely redesign the user interface, then you might just bump it all the way up to 2.0. And although it's not required, we should always validate the archive before submitting the app to the App Store Connect. Let's choose Validate here. This process allows Xcode to detect errors and suggest how to fix them. So the window that comes back here presents these options to tell Xcode how to configure the archive and what to include. So we'll include both and click Next. The next window here lets us select how we want to sign the app. By having automatically managed signing selected, Xcode takes care of all that for us. So I have no certificate here. I'm just going to click Generate a Certificate. So let's export signing certificate. Let's give it a name. Call it Find Words. And we also need a password. Verify that password. We'll have to type in your computer password here and allow CodeSign to access Apple's distribution. Now we can validate. If you have a certificate, you won't have to do these few steps that I've just shown you. Now, I'm glad this came up because I just want to go over this. If you do get it, just follow the instructions here. I'm missing quite a few things here. I don't have icons for the app. I don't have screenshots inside Apple Connect. I didn't put them in yet. I don't have a App Store icon here as well. And once you get them loaded up, get your assets all together, then it'll upload this archive over here, right into the build. So when you get all that ready to go and the upload is finally here, you're going to come up to this button and click on Submit for Review. And then usually you have to wait about 3 days, sometimes quicker, sometimes it's longer, but that seems to be an average time. Then you'll hear back from Apple and they'll let you know if the app was approved or not. And if it wasn't, then they'll tell you what you need to fix in order to resubmit it and try again. Something else you'll see after you hit the Submit for Review button is the system will ask a few questions about the application. And all being well, you should have your app on the App Store ready to go. And that's it. That's the whole process in a nutshell. There are a few little hoops we do have to jump through, but Apple really has streamlined this over the years. In past versions of Xcode, this was a bit of a nightmare to try to get all your certificates ready and your profiles and everything. Now Apple does most of that completely automatically, so it's a much easier process. I think the biggest thing might be getting all the screenshots together. And so with that, the course is complete. Great job for getting to the end of this, for completing all these modules. This is all written by the brilliant programmer, JD. He put a lot of time into this. And as you've realized, there's tons of information here to use at your disposal anytime you need it. I'll continue with the course with updates as Apple issues new software and new updates. We'll put them into the course. We'll keep the course updated and fresh and always available for whenever you need it. Thanks, everybody, for jumping along on this journey with me and coding along with me. I hope to see you